Hi, guys.
Hi.
Here we are with another edition of Chats. Our chat today is with a man who is the epitome of you have to empty your cup in order to fill it. He's been a student of many notable teachers, personally receiving indoor instruction from the likes of Grandmasters Weilun Wong and Koon, to name a couple. All of this has made him a master in his own right. A teacher to many current Tai Chi instructors, he has been steadfast in teaching the same way he has been taught. Always passing on the legacy is Sifu Lou Fisher. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
It's actually been a long time since we've been able to connect, Sifu. You're looking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Last time we were together, I was teaching you. I started to teach you the Loho Bafa, taught to me by Weilun Wong. Yeah, that goes way back. I started my teaching with my studies with Weilun back in the 90s, back in 90s, 96, 97, I think it was. Right after Lee Kun Hong passed away, it was recommended. My martial arts experience started when I was very young, when I was in my 16, 17 years old. I went to jiu-jitsu and judo classes at the YMCA, and that started the process. And I was invited to private lessons in downtown Philadelphia for a summer, and I did that. And then after that process, it gave me an introduction into the world of martial arts, so to speak. I moved to Florida, and when I was here in Florida, I was introduced to a Baksilum Sifu teacher. His name was John Lupos, and he still teaches many styles. He teaches Baksilum, he teaches Tai Chi, he also teaches a style that Weilun style as well. I don't think he calls it that, but he teaches the fighting style from Weilun, which was Grandmaster Chen, right, in Orlando. Anyway, John, I was introduced to John by a friend, a classmate of mine, and he started teaching me Baksilum. That was in the mid 70s, and that's when my martial arts, my true martial arts, the Chinese method, Chinese introduction to Chinese martial arts became my life then at that time. And John didn't teach me Tai Chi. I didn't start learning Tai Chi until I was a student of Weilun, or not Weilun, but Lee Kun Hong. When I asked John about a teacher that I was looking for a teacher. I had no teacher for a long time. And then in the early 90s, in 93, I think it was 94, Lee Kun Hong opened a school here in Fort Lauderdale. As I understand it, he was actually given his green card to teach his art in the United States. And he came from Hong Kong by way of San Francisco and wound up in Fort Lauderdale. We were all very lucky to be a part of that process. And he opened the school up in 92 or 93. Many famous names were involved in that initial school. Of note to you, and I'm sure to many people on Facebook, John Wade was part of that original school, and we learned from Lee Kun Hong until his passing, and he passed, I think, in early 96 or 97, and then my internal art studies had John Lupos, my original teacher, suggested I go to Miami and meet with Weilun Wong. And turns out to be what an incredible individual, an incredible teacher. And he studied his art in China and then brought it here, the Loho Bafa and Tai Chi, to Miami. And he was, what a privilege it was to study with him. I would go and see him once a week, for years, and many, many years, until I finished the study of the Bafa, finished the process of the Bafa, and then finally started, after years and years of practicing the same routines over and over again, finally getting the idea of what it really meant to be a practitioner of internal arts. And there's some Chinese teachers that say, well, internal arts are art styles that you study inside your house. It's your house, the inside of your house is inside here, in your head, and what you think and what you feel, and letting your body follow what your body can do. And Weilun's practice and teaching was fascinating and educational and anatomical. It was physiological, strenuous, but rewarding. So rewarding. It was incredible. And we would meet in a place called Tropical Park right before his passing. He passed, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. He passed, and now his sister has taken over his teaching in Tropical Park. I haven't been to there since his funeral, so I practice here in my house and in a local park, and try to practice every day. And when you get to be my age, it's sometimes hard to practice every day, but I still do anyway. So, and that's almost my whole history. The initial martial arts teaching was Boxilum, and then Choy foot, and then Tai Chi studies, Fu style Tai Chi, and Loho Bafa Tai Chi. Loho Bafa is a combination of Tai Chi, Xingyi, and Bagua. And there's really good videos on YouTube of Weilun showing the Bafa. And it's amazing what he has done, what he did in his life, and what he was able to accomplish in his life, using just the martial arts and using internal studies and learning what your body can do for you. So I know that was a pretty long answer, but
oh no, that's perfect. That's definitely perfect. Seeing, of course, to let everybody know, I refer to Sifu Lou Fisher as Si Hing, which means big willow, because Sifu Lou Fisher and we have a history together over at the Lee Kun Hung Choy Foot Kung Fu Association.
Right, Si Hing means older Kung Fu brother.
Exactly, yeah. Si Hing. And Sifu Lou Fisher, you are officially certified, accredited as being my first Tai Chi instructor.
Yeah.
Very, very first. All the way back in 2005.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
The Fu style Tai Chi and the Fu style sword Tai Chi. And I think I also showed you the Long Yi.
Yes.
That short form Long Yi. And what's interesting about all of the internal styles is that you get from it exactly what you put into it. And then eventually, with many, many years of study and practice, you realize that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to feel. And then it happens. Then you just relax into it, and the energy just flows. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So it is effort that definitely yields results.
Oh yeah,
I understand you saying. But just for those of you who are not familiar, Baxilum is actually Northern Shaolin.
Yes.
Right, and
there's a lot of stories about how it came about. There were 5 brothers that traveled all over the country, all over China, looking for different martial arts, and then they came back after years, and they came back and put together a system of martial arts that they incorporate from many, many different styles that they studied, and that's became Boxilum.
Okay. So, Sihing, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Seeing as how you were with Weilun Wong for many years, okay, I know of another notable Sifu who was a student of Weilun Wong as well. Well, I believe that's Sifu Andrew Chung,
Yes,
right? I believe that's where he had learned his Yang style Tai Chi. He learned it from
yes,
Weilun, right?
yes.
Did you pick up any of the Yang style from Weilun as well?
No, I did not. He knew that I studied the Fu style Tai Chi. I did not go to any of the Yang style classes with them. When he would teach the Yang style, I would follow along as best I could. And there's some parts of the Yang style that are very familiar because Fu style was a combination of Yang and many other styles of Tai Chi. But mostly I went and studied with Weilun, and I studied the Loho Bafa with him.
Okay, okay. So let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit, Sifu, from actual kung fu. I have a question. Do you practice qigong, Sifu?
Yes, standing meditation with just relaxation, and I still do stretches as much as my body allows me to stretch. I've been through as a to give hope to people who reach my age. I've had both my hips replaced. I've had a shoulder replaced, and I may have to have my knees done at some time in the future. But I still practice and still do the Qigong exercises and stretches and meditation. I try to do that as much as possible.
And if you don't mind me asking, seeing how old are you?
I'm 72.
No way.
Yeah.
No, but you seriously, you look very good for your age, Sifu. And I think that has, I think your internal practice, your energetics has a lot to do with what's happening. My current teacher right now, he's 89, and if you
Okay.
actually look at him, you wouldn't think he's 89 because of how alert he is, and he attributes his alertness and everything to his Tai Chi practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot has to be said about that. That's good. That's good. So, as a practitioner slash teacher of both internal as well as external styles, because you were beginning to teach me the Loha Bafa,
Yeah.
right? And you're also a Choy Fat instructor of mine as well as to many others, right? I have to ask you: is there a similarity or more than one similarity between the two?
That's a very interesting question. A lot of teachers and a lot of students, they say, what's the difference or similarities between soft styles and hard styles? Ultimately, they're all beneficial and they all allow your body and your mind to become one together. And whether it's external hard styles like the Japanese teach, or the external kung fu styles, whatever the style is, how you benefit from that is the result of what you put into your practice and how you practice. But ultimately, they are all martial art. They are all fighting styles. Tai Chi and Kung Fu were put together as fighting styles, all of them. And there are fighting applications to Tai Chi. And although I never really did that in any great detail when I was teaching you in Lee Kun Hong's school, there are fighting applications to all of the Tai Chi movements. And and Weilun would teach that to us as well. And not to the extent of severe physical impact, but once you have practiced for many years, you realize that, now I understand how this can be applied, and then what the martial application of this movement is, or that movement might be. So I don't know if that answers your question. I don't think it sidestepped the question, but I think that the answer is that yes, internal styles and soft styles versus hard styles and external styles are all martial arts, and they are all taught and learned in that way, and that's the way they should be absorbed.
Yes, that's a definitely good answer to that question, Sifu. Right? It's a very obvious answer. I mean, the answer's right there in your face, but
Yeah.
it's not so obvious. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm just processing you. So they're both martial arts, and that's really essentially the biggest similarity right there. They're both styles of martial arts, right?
Yes.
And they should be thought of as such, not as their secondary purpose. Like, for example, Tai Chi. Tai Chi, it's a martial art. Tai Chi Chuan, it's a martial art. It should be considered and thought of as such.
Whether you study Tai Chi for health benefits or for physical benefits or mental benefits or relaxation, it doesn't make any difference. It's still a martial art, but you get from it exactly what you put into it. So if all you want to do is study Tai Chi for relaxation purposes, there's no one saying that that's the right way or the wrong way. That's the way that you're doing it, and that's the way you will benefit from it.
And that's all you're going to get out of it.
That's right.
Understandable. I love that answer, Sifu. I love that answer. So the other part of the question is, do you have a preference to a soft style or a hard style?
No preference at all. No preference. I just, as my body advances in age, the fellow who's inside my head is probably only 20 years old. But as my body advances in age, it's a little more difficult to do the hard styles every day, and to practice Choy foot every day. That's so. Yeah, it gets more difficult as you get older to do that kind of thing. But Qigong exercises and Tai Chi exercises and practicing the Low Bafa as often as possible, if not every day, as often as you can, you still benefit. You benefit every day from doing the art form. And I still do practice the plum flower fist. I still practice them, of course. Yeah, and the Sifu Koon still practice. Yeah, there were so many forms that we had in our style that many of them I remember all of them. I just don't remember all the movements of all of them. But
that's good, Steve.
I read Lance, Sifu Lance. He told us a story about Lee Kun Hong, because he became part of the family, and he said that Lee Kun Hong went to do a demonstration when he was still alive, and he went out and did a routine on the open floor, and he said afterwards, he did the routine flawlessly, and he said he hadn't done that routine, hadn't practiced that routine in over 5-6 years. So that's how impressive he was to me. Anyway, he never forgot anything. It was an absolute privilege to have him and Weilun as my teachers over the years, and John as well. John, I don't stay in touch with John that much, but we still contact each other by email.
All right, that's good, Steve. That's very good. That's very good. If you could teach the new generation of martial artists only one thing, what would that be?
Let yourself learn at your pace. Let your body learn at your pace. Don't be discouraged by failures or incomplete learning. Let your learning continue. And if you don't have a good teacher, seek out other teachers. Seek out another teacher until you get to the teacher and to the point where you you realize that you are learning at the level that you can learn and the level that you are able to retain and learn from and benefit from. So yes, that would be my suggestion to everybody, because every teacher does not teach the same way. Every student does not learn the same way. And finding the combination that's right for you, in other words, the teacher that's right for you and the style that's right for you, may be a hit and miss thing through your life. But keep an open mind and allow your body to learn at the pace that your body can learn.
And I can relate to that, because I remember so many times, like over at Lee Kun Hong, for example, right, at Lee Kun Hong School, there would be like certain people in the class who are just physically better than you. They're more flexible than you. They're faster than you. They learn at a faster rate than you. Or at least this is how it seems to you, right? It's not that they're better than you. It's just that's how you're perceiving it, right?
Well,
And then you feel a little way because of that, and you get discouraged. And so I've seen it many times. I've personally experienced that. So I understand, right? Just learn at your own pace. Just take it easy.
Don't be discouraged, because everybody does learn at a different pace. And that's the good teachers are the ones that realize that each student is going to be different. Each student learns at their own pace, they have their own way of learning. And a prime example of that is Sifu Joe in Boynton Beach. I mean, has an incredible following. I don't know if you've been up to his school or not, but it's an incredible school, and he's really good and really gone so far. It's way further than I thought he was going to go, and it's great. It's wonderful to see how well he's doing.
Good. That's Sifu Joe Keith up in Boynton Beach. Very good. Very good. One more question, Sifu, and this is the easiest one, of course. If people wanted to contact you, how would they contact you? They can
contact me through Facebook. They can contact me by my email address is sifufisher@gmail.com.
Okay, and on Facebook, it's same thing as Sifu Lou Fisher?
Yeah, Sifu Fisher @gmail.
All right, and just before we go, I just want to let everybody know, if you need a new pair of Feiyue shoes, go ahead and click that link in the description down below. Also, in the description down below is going to be Sifu Lou's information. So if you need to get in contact with him, you have it right there as well.
Awesome.
Sifu, I do have to thank you very much for this time that you've taken to speak with me.
Yeah,
and it's very good to catch up with you.
It's good to see you and good to hear from you again.
All right. Thank you very much. I hope we can do this again, and we will talk very shortly. Okay, Seeking?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.